Hey y'all, I got some shit that need to be said, okay? Okay. You know what? I should move this to the center here because I keep looking over here, but if I have it here, then that's directly in front of the camera lens, so I won't be, y'all will feel like I'm not looking at y'all. Okay. So y'all, I ran across this interview from 1992 by Tupac Shakur, rapper, actor, poetry, I guess poet, lyricist. You could probably call him a lot. Tupac was he was a big influence in my life when I was growing up, and he's still an influence on my life to this day. So much so that one of my songs that I composed and wrote and sang was inspired by one of his songs. So his Brenda's Got a Baby song inspired my Julie song. So if you go to my music page at that girl Shanda on YouTube and you pull up Julie, um, and you watch the video, you'll see, like, you'll listen to it. Now, no, it doesn't sound just like Brenda's Got a Baby. It's not supposed to sound like Brenda's Got a Baby. It sounds like what popped into my head. But from listening to his song, Brenda's Got a Baby, it inspired me to create Julie. Um, Even down to using the name of a female in the title of the song, right? So, and it's interesting because in his Brenda's Got a Baby song, he's talking about a young teenage girl who got pregnant at a young age by, I don't know if it was by her pimp or something like that. She was pimped out. Her mom didn't care for her, didn't love her, didn't unconditionally love her. She only used her for a paycheck from the government. Um, and, Brenda was depressed. And so she went out and met the wrong kind of guy. He ended up being a pimp who pimped her out, got her hooked on drugs. She got pregnant. Um, she had the baby, threw the baby in the garbage. You know what I mean? She stayed in that prostitution lifestyle until it killed her. And so Brenda's Got a Baby is a real deep song by Tupac. Um, anyway, so that inspired Julie. And in my song, it's not about Brenda Julie getting pregnant or anything, but Julie was in school, and she didn't really care to be in school because she felt like school wasn't going to get her where she wanted to be in life, which was rich and famous and a bunch of money. Um, like Brenda, Julie fell into the hands of a guy who, you know, was going to pimp her out basically. And she was kind of going back and forth on whether she wanted to do it or not. But she felt like, because the guy was wealthy, that he could buy her lifestyle. And she felt like if she didn't say yes, that he would have went and got another girl to give that kind of lifestyle to. So, it's a play on it, but it's not exactly the same. And of course, my melody sounds nothing like Brenda's Got a Baby. My music is completely different. My lyrics are completely different. Okay. Anyway, so I wanted to play a little bit of Tupac's interview. So I'm gonna stop it, you know, midway through to give some commentary on it. Normally, I let the whole thing play through, but because I have thoughts about his individual thoughts, um, I'm not gonna remember it all the way at the end, once it's over. So I'd rather just kind of stop it. I'll let it play for a good while though. All right. Thing you do is such a gimme. Everybody. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back and because that wasn't the beginning. This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. Everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful. You want to be like Trump. Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like nobody ever stopped. Just I feel like instead of us just being like slavery's bad, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that. I mean, we've been slighted, and we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that. But we need help. Okay, so when he said the whole world seems like gimme, 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 take, 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 step, 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 crush, 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 um, I immediately thought about how that was the system that was created. So that was the system put in place to be able to gain, right? Um, there are some people who feel like everybody can eat, right? There are some people who feel like, everybody can get a piece of the pie. And then there are some people who feel like not everybody can get a piece of the pie. There are some people who feel like they want the whole damn pie. And they're willing to do whatever it is they need to do in order to get the whole damn pie, right? So, right there, that splits down the middle the difference between some people and other people, right? Um, and I guess the people that he's talking about is gimme, 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 take, 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 crush, crush, crush. Um, I guess those people tend to have the most because they are willing to be pretty savage about it to get what they want. And so that usually involves the crush, 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 the step on, step on, step on. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily make it right, but that is that's a part of what's done and a part of what's been done for a very long time, right? So
For us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now Americans got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant.
what's interesting is that he said now America has jewels, now America has money, now America has this, right? America has had those things though. That's not new. America has had money. America has had jewels. America has had those things. America has had wealth, which a lot of the land is wealth. Okay? So America has had those things. But it's interesting that he's talking about we give money to everybody else, but we don't give it to ourselves. So it's interesting that he says that because this is in 1992. It's 2024, and people are still complaining about America giving a lot of money to other places, other countries, instead of here at home. So the same argument is still prevalent to this day, which is crazy. I think that's so crazy that people are still arguing about that, like that same thing.
You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about the album, about the Special Olympics. Everybody need a little something and they to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. If there's a white person who got money, then you need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped them.
Okay, so where he said, where he said that they need to help, and they need to not do it where they're like, oh, it's too late. We should have did like as an afterthought. Um, oh, Tupac. There's some people that just don't think like that. There's some people that don't think like that. You know, the old school thinking from back in the day, from I'll say like colonizers or whatever, was always to keep it in the family. So, you acquire wealth, however it is you acquired it, and you keep it in the family, right? So that it is passed on through generation to generation. And the goal is to create even more wealth than you were able to do previously, right? but you keep it within the family so that way the family continues to stay wealthy, but the family also maintains power and, that status and stuff. Um, that's why sometimes people will marry, not necessarily for love. They'll marry for business purposes. It'll be based on business and status and power and not necessarily love, right? Um, but it's interesting that the concept of keeping it in the family so that it continues to grow the family, right? And so, what a lot of melanated people complain about is the melanated dollar not staying long enough in the melanated community enough for it to multiply and to keep growing and growing and growing, right? Um, so it's said, you can even Google it. It's said that like in Asian communities and white communities or whatever, but they really concentrate on the Asian community. They say in the Asian community, a dollar is recycled over and over and over and over for about a week or 2 weeks or something like that before it's transferred out of the community, which means that the dollar is recycled amongst one another so that they allow each other to be able to eat, right? But when it comes to quote unquote black people, quote unquote African American people, quote unquote American Indians, they will spend their money in those communities. Like they'll take their dollar to other race communities and spend their money there, which allows the money there to multiply over and over and over and over again instead of using it in their own community so that it can multiply. Okay? So to go back to Tupac when he's saying this person can help, or he said the white guy can help the black kid or the Mexican kid and the Korean kid and stuff. It just kind of goes back to not everybody thinks like that. Not everybody thinks like that. And he's saying like, oh, not that everybody's is good. Everybody got what they want, so you should be able to give back. And it's like folks aren't going to give back what was taken. That would defeat the purpose of taking it, right? If you give it back, it would be like saying we took it from you. And since nobody wants to be branded as that, even though history already shows it, because no one wants to be branded as that, is probably more than likely the reason why they won't do it. Okay? So, all right.
Folks, it's gonna be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you gotta pay your own karma, and that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you, because I feel like it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million, and we got people starving in the streets. That is not how.
Real quick though, when he said God punishes you, I immediately thought of the name Javion McGee from Henderson. Well, he's from Chicago, Illinois, but he was trucking in Henderson, North Carolina, where they found him hanging against a tree or whatever, and they're still trying to explain his death, even though his attorneys is calling it a murder. And then after that happened, Hurricane Helene came through and ripped North Carolina apart. And so when Tupac said that's when God handles it, I think he's meaning just like on a spiritual level. You know what I mean? Okay.
Idealistic, that's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000, triple billion dollars, and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. Say people would say, well, they earned it. Now you go out here and earn it. If they earned it, then I think that's good, and I think that they deserve it. But even if you earned it, you still owe. Cause look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel guilty walking by somebody. I gotta give them some mail, and if I know I got $3,000 in my pocket, I feel like it's wrong to give that person a quarter or a dollar. It's wrong.
Mm.
Only you know what you got in your pocket,
I
and
feel him.
that's wrong.
I
No
feel
matter
him.
what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But I mean, you got. You understand? And we all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad. So since it's not about if you good or you bad, we know that because he don't got, don't mean he was bad, or don't mean he's a criminal, or don't mean he's crazy, or a drug addict, or none of that. It just means he don't got. And ain't it bad that you got 30? I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? 32, $32 million,
I don't know why that was
and
the
this
magical
person has
number.
nothing, and you can sleep. You can still go to the movies about. And then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards, millionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. You know what I'm saying? And that bugs me. Not saying that when I'm never gonna be rich and you know what I'm saying, but I'm saying it's a struggle, and I think everybody deserves. And I think there's a way to pay these people. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary, and it takes to do something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we just said, okay, I got an idea. No more porno buildings. You know what I'm saying? Let's build houses. Or no more polo games. Let's build houses for poor people. You know what I'm saying? Or look, okay, I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got two kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me.
Okay, I was cracking up off of that. He said he don't feel that people need to be allowed to accumulate so much money in the lotto. I always kind of felt like the lotto was rigged anyway. You know what I mean? This is like I mean that's what it feels like to me. Maybe it's not, but it always felt like it was kind of rigged to me. But like just this other person, I forget his name, Cesar or something. I know he won like 2 point something $billion in the lotto, and he's been out here in California like buying real estate, which is smart, buying real estate and doing his thing, right? Now of course I don't know what else he's doing with his money. I guess nobody really does, but you know, I feel Tupac. If I was the winner of 2 point something $billion in the lotto and I was the sole winner and I got like half of that 1 point something $billion, right? Um, I'll never be broke for the rest of my life, right? Me personally, there is no way that I would not give back. There is no way that I would not give back. I would be devising plans on how to get back. Honestly, like it's a dream of mine to be a philanthropist on like a whole other kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm a philanthropist because like I've been giving all my life, whether it be to charities or people, homeless people or whatever like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like cuz I'm not even in the best situation that I could be in right now, right? But I I still give. I still give, like regardless, because that's just me. But I always dreamed of being a philanthropist on the level of where me having millions of dollars, I could um, start like nonprofits and help kids and I have all this stuff written down. So I have plans. I have plans in my mind of what I would do. And I definitely wouldn't keep $1 billion or $2 billion to myself. That's pretty ridiculous. And like he said, it would be very, very selfish. He said he don't understand why a person would need 52 rooms. Um, I understand that too. I years ago I used to work for a cable company. I won't say the name because I ain't trying to give nobody no credit or no shine or nothing. But I used to work for a cable company years ago, and when I worked for that cable company, one of the customers was a famous boxer. Okay, And so I assigned a particular technician to go out and install cable boxes in this particular famous boxer's home. And the technician told me, like, yo, I had to install cable boxes in 20 rooms. And I was like, you are lying. And he was like, no. Like, I couldn't even do it by myself. I had to call help. Like, it was 20 rooms. And he wanted cable boxes in all the rooms. He said it was TVs in every room. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I said, well, who lived there? And he was like, it was just him. And I was like, you are lying. It has to be other family. He has to have people come through, an entourage or something. And he was like, even if he did have an entourage come through, even if he did have family come through, this is a single man. He's not married. He probably has kids, but they don't live with him like that because he's busy on the road doing his thing. He's like, I had to install cable boxes in 20 rooms. He said, what one man is going to watch TV in 20 different rooms? And I was like, well, that's how, that's what some people, I personally can't imagine doing something like that. You know what I mean? But there are some people who do it, and honestly, you never know. Maybe they just have really big families, or maybe they rent the rooms out. That could be a possibility, right? Maybe they rent individual rooms out for profit. I mean, that could be a possibility. So you never really know what a person does with their investments. On the outside looking in, it looks like one way to one person, but they could be doing something else with it that we have no idea about, right? So, but I understand what he mean about, 52 rooms, especially if you're just one person, or 52 rooms, especially if you just have a wife and two kids and stuff like that. But again, you never know what a person is doing with their investment, right?
They don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole nine. That's not fair to me.
Okay. So, okay. Look, in a nutshell, I completely understand where Tupac is coming from. Again, this is a 1992 interview. I completely understand where he's coming from. He clearly has a heart. He clearly is compassionate. He's very passionate, clearly, and so I totally get where he's coming from. But again, we live in a world where not everybody thinks like that, and not everybody moves that way. Because if more people moved that way than the other way, then we probably would have less hunger, right? We probably would have less people on the street, right? We probably would have um, more people being able to open businesses, and just fairness, right? We would have fairness, right? But that a lot of people don't think like that. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that don't think like that are many of the people who are in power. And because they are in power, it gives them the free range to be able to, like he said in the beginning, step on, push out the way, and crush. And there are a lot of people that do that with joy in their heart, absolute joy in their heart. It gives them joy to step on, push out, and crush people. Okay? Because I can't tell y'all how many times I have gone to banks to try to get business loans, right? And was denied. I mean, and I would write up whole, what do you call it? What do you call it? Like if you write something up for a grant, or you write up your reasoning of why you should get the loan, or why, or what you're going to do with it. I mean, I would break it down. I would break down equipment. I would break down different real estate, like giving different addresses with the pricing and the monthly payments. I would break down the competition in the neighborhood. I would break down, like, I would break it down. Do you know what I mean? And why I'd be a good candidate for the loan, you get turned down. I have went to SBA. I have went to, what is it, micro loan, or like that's also a part of the, like, the government or whatever. When I went to SBA, because I went to SBA a few times. One time when I went to SBA trying to get money for a business, it was an older white man, right? Of course, he asked me, like, what I plan to do with the money, and what I, like, when I made money, what I plan to do with it, or what I plan to do with. I mean, he gave some good advice, right? But then he told me, when you start profiting, he's like, don't go out and buy jewelry, and don't go and buy, a bunch of cars, and don't go and what did he say? Don't go, and I said, what? I just thought that was interesting. I was like, don't go and buy jewelry, and don't go and buy a bunch of cars. And I said, well, why would I do that? And he was like, no, I'm just, I'm just saying, so when you make money, don't blow it on, jewelry and cars. And I was like, well, I'm not even into cars like that, so I can't even imagine myself blowing money on cars, or whatever. But and then when I tried again, business plan. That's what it's the name, business plan. And then when I tried again, I, like, I presented a part of my business plan to some ladies, and they were really intrigued. And they said, "Oh, you did this yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I did it myself." And they said, "Oh," they said, "Well, we were thinking about having, a part of the class where we um, talked about business plans, and we taught people how to do business plans." And I said, "Oh, that's good. That's nice." And then they said, "So we want to ask you, why don't you teach the class?" I said, "Teach the class?" And they said, "Yeah, teach the two ladies, teach the class on how to do a business plan, and we want you to use your business plan as an example." And I said, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Well, let me think about it," because in my mind I'm thinking, like, maybe they're trying to bring me in to help me out. Maybe this is going to get me somewhere where I can get a loan to start my business and all this stuff like that, right? And you know what I discovered, y'all? I discovered that the reason they wanted me to teach the class how to do business plans, and the reason why they wanted to use my business plan as an example, is because they wanted to learn how to do the business plan. It was something that wasn't in their forte, and so I guess they wanted to learn how to do it. Number one. Number two, they wanted me to use my business plan as an example because they wanted to know what all did my business plan entail. Number three, I realized they wanted to know what all my business plan entailed because they wanted to break it down to a T to be able to use my ideas to hand off to their friends so that they could funnel the business loans to their friends. So this was the game. Get other people's ideas, tell your friends what the ideas are, then we fund our friends the money to be able to start the business with those same ideas, and we get a cut. We get a cut of the. So we give you the money, you give us a cut of the money back, and then you go ahead with the business ideas that we got from somebody else and gave to you. And then when the business is doing successful, then we also get a cut of that too, a percentage of that too. That was their hustle, y'all. That was their hustle. And I sat back and watched that shit happen in front of me. I mean, and it was so gross. It was so gross. And it was this one lady, and they were like on her like hound dogs. And they were like, "Yeah, so what is your business all about? And what are your ideas? And we're here to help you. Yeah, so we can see how much money that it would take, and da 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 da." And the lady was just, she genuinely thought that these ladies wanted to help her like I did. She genuinely thought that. And she just started talking. telling what her idea was, telling the plan. I mean, breaking it. And then they asking questions and she just going in. Y'all, the whole time. Now, this is when we had left out the building. The meeting was over. We was leaving out the building. You know, I had went and got in my car, but I had my windows rolled down. And so they like kind of cornered her and they was asking her these questions outside of the building. And the lady was just, and the whole time I wanted to say, shut up, sis. Shut up. Shut up. That's what I wanted to say to her. You know what I'm saying? But then how could I tell her right then and there to be quiet and just, I was already in my car. And from that day, I decided that I wasn't going to teach the class how to do a business plan. I decided that I definitely wasn't going to use my business plan as an example. And I wasn't going to fuck with them ladies like that anymore. And they kept emailing me, calling me. Are you gonna come? Are you gonna come? We're waiting for you. We told everyone that you're gonna show everyone how to do business plans and that you're gonna use yours as an example. And it was interesting because when I started to even talk about part of my business plan, both of them did this. I'm not lying, y'all. I had never seen anybody. What now? What? Yeah. Mm. And when they did that, it made me back up because I'm like, what the fuck? And then when I got an eerie feeling about it, and that's when I shut down. I completely shut down. And because I shut down, I guess to make it sound sweet, oh, we want you to teach the class all about business plans since you seem to know or and and we want to use your business plan as an example for the class because I wasn't telling them nothing. And I guess they felt like if they were to make it seem like I was this prize person that could teach the class, it would help me to spill all of the details and the beans of my plan. They were not there to help us. They were there to grape us of our ideas so that they could hand it off to their good girlfriends and funnel the money that way. I ain't come on here to blow nobody's spot up, but I'm just keeping it real. Tupac interview got me thinking about some things, and this is what's coming out. So, I've definitely tried certain things that it's interesting because certain things that happen to you, it shies you away from wanting to even can like go after it. You know what I mean? Because after you've encountered people that just try to do nothing but steal from you, use you, abuse you, and things like that, it really makes you kind of, first of all, it makes you not trust motherfuckers. And then it makes you not even want to share anything, you know? And so I listened to this woman's story the other day, and she was crying on camera because she was talking about how she started her business from her own pockets. And when she went to go and to secure a business loan to keep her business open, she was completely turned down. And then when she learned of, the current immigrants that's coming over here getting money to businesses, but in particular, they sold her business to the new immigrant that came into America and gave them the money to be able to buy the business and whatever it is. Like, she was boo-hooing on camera, y'all. She was like, I built my business from the ground up with the money in my pocket and I worked hard and then because I run into a bad time and I'm looking to get some help to keep my doors open, you gonna just not help me? and then give somebody else some money to take my shit? She was crying on camera, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that too. The businesses I started with the money out of my pocket because I couldn't get help from nowhere. I tried micro biz, micro loan, whatever it's called. Micro is part of the government, SBA. Just and then I just went cold turkey and went straight to the bank itself. Said, let me not put the government in this because maybe I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? And then I just was just like, screw it. Like, what else can I do? I know this is something that I want to do. So I put the money into my candle business, and then tried to also, and put the money into real estate and put the like, you have to do whatever it is that you can do on your own. And it's sad because a lot of people say that, for you to gain a certain amount of wealth, it's like you have to do corrupt shit. It's like you can't get it honestly. It has to be, if it's given to you, it has to be through some kind of crooked way or something like that. Like how people say, oh, you think these billionaires get billions, just because of their talent or just because of, they're that great? It's like, no, it's something that comes with that. And I'm like, damn. And it's not like I even aspire to all of that. You know what I mean? But I do aspire to wealth, absolutely. And what I mean by that is to be able to pass on through generations, legacy. A lot of people aspire to that. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. And they don't stop until they get there, you know? And so, yeah, I do think that those who aspire to do great things, if they reach out for a helping hand to be able to do those great things, especially if their ideas are great, their business plan, their model is great. Clearly, a lot of it is great if some these women were willing to take somebody else's ideas and business plan and content and whatever and give it to their friend. Clearly, it was good shit. It was great shit because they felt it would work for their friend, and then they could just funnel the money to their friend. But why couldn't you just fund the money to the person whose idea it was originally, whose business plan it was originally? Why couldn't you just do that? Is it because you felt like you wouldn't be able to tell them, if I give you this money, you have to give me a certain percentage back, and if I and then once the business gets going good, then give us a percentage of your business? Probably, because a person will be like, well, why should I give you a percentage of my business? I'm supposed to be, if nothing else, I'm supposed to just be paying back the loan. Why am I giving you money? So that was their side hustle, and they felt like, if they got their friends gonna listen to them, because obviously if their friend want to make money, their friend want to make money, so they gonna ensure that their friend can make money, but they gonna get some money back too. A lot of people probably don't know about that. That's a hustle though. It's a hustle, and it was one that I witnessed firsthand, and it made me shy away from even trying after that, because I tried a few times, but it made me shy away from trying after that. Yeah, that's life. Thus is life. And, you know, I would tell Tupac, there are people like you, and then there are those who are not like you. So that's the answer to your question. Since you're wondering why certain folks don't do certain things, or why folks don't help out, and why folks, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't see myself sitting on a shitload of money either and just not helping. I'd never do that. I definitely have plans. Like, for instance, if I was to win the lottery tomorrow, I already have plans in motion. Like, I already have plans. Do you hear me? I know exactly what I would do, where I would start, what it would take. I have plans. And I also have plans to give. But I definitely, child, talking about hitting the ground running. But a lot of folks know that about, you know, us. We'll hit the ground running. We acquire a certain amount, we hit the ground running. Oh, and now the frame freezes as I say that. It's true though. It's true. So it's very, very true. It don't take a whole lot. It could be as little as $100,000, because Tupac was talking millions, but it could be as little as $100,000. I'll never make the mistake that I made when I acquired a certain amount after selling my second home, which was renting again. And it was because of the whole, you know, separating, breakup, divorce, child custody, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. It was like a bunch of craziness that was going on in the midst of everything that also made me stop selling my candles online. That also made me have to fall off with selling my candles in the 3 stores that they were in. Like the divorce, the breakup of the dismantling of the civil union agreement, and the visceral child custody case that occurred. It really plummeted everything that I had going on, everything that I was building and creating, and I put so much work into it, so much work and effort into it. And it was almost like the ex was just like, I will fuck everything that you have created up where you won't, you know what I mean? And it's fucked up. But it didn't stop me from reinventing myself, and it didn't stop me from staying positive during the process, and it didn't stop me from creating. I may have had to stop with my candles due to not having the proper resources to continue it. Um, I may have had to stop with my real estate and my renovations due to everything that took a huge toll on me and my pockets, and even having my kids hidden from me. Like, everything was done to me to break me. And there are even, people, strangers that don't even know me like that, that have tried to hurt me and break me. And some of them even know some of my background, some of my story. You know what I mean? They may not ever tell me that they know, but. And it still doesn't matter. It's still like, I want to break you. I want to dim your light or put it out altogether. You know what I mean? And it feels like, um it's, well, how they say, new levels, new devils. That's what it feels like. It feels like when one demon strikes, and you beat that demon, another demon comes, and you beat that demon, then another demon comes, and you beat that demon, then another demon comes. It just come out the woodwork, baby. Just come out the woodwork. It's almost like like a takedown, a takedown. It's like we are not going to allow you to continue elevating. We are not going to, we have to try to break you so that you don't get to your true destiny or your true, you know what I mean? Even if you're supposed to be with somebody, like a certain partner, they'll attack the partner. They'll attack the partner, try to throw the partner off from you. They'll do everything in their power to break it all apart so that you don't get to where you're trying to get to. I don't know why. Um, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I always say stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I do know why. And I won't break it down now because that's a lot to get into. But anyway, some people don't succeed. Some people, they allow the demons to get to them. Some people, they allow the, like the fear of the devil. They get fearful because they do use fear tactics. Yes, they do. They definitely use fear tactics. They use tactics to definitely try to fuck with your mental. Absolutely. Fuck with your mental, fuck with your nervous system, fuck with your, throw your chakras off to keep you from being grounded. They try to, the purpose, it seems like, is to cause you to be mentally unstable. Because if you fuck up the mental, you know, like they say, take the mind, leave the body. Take the mind, leave the body. Because if you go out of your fucking mind, if you go completely insane, you done. How you gonna come back from that? It's like walking down the street and seeing people that are completely sprung out on drugs, so much so that they bent, their whole body is twisted and bent up and they look like a zombie. And you wondering how the hell did they position their body to even get in that position? Drugs made all that shit happen? Like, that person's mind is gone. They will never be the same again. Ever. And if they break out of the drug addiction, the only thing that they can do is to try to just try to be better for themselves. Try to be better for themselves. Do you know what I mean? Because the goal is to take the mind and leave the body. And that's some real shit. That is some real shit. And so, unfortunately, some people succumb to it. Unfortunately. And then there are those that don't. Especially when you know what it is, who it is, why it's being done. You know? So at the end of the day, it's like, what, you gonna let them win? Some people say the devil. You gonna let the devil win? You gonna let the devil win? That's how I kind of viewed the ex and some of the ex's family. Because everything that was done to me through my kids, everything. In my mind, I said to myself, what am I going, I'm really going to let them win? I'm going to let the devil win? I'm going to let them win? I'm going to let them get the upper hand? Why would I do that? Who are they? Who are they? Why would I give them that much power? Who are they? To me, who are they? Where I would give them that much power over me. You think I'm going to let you take my mind? Why? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Because I know, or if I know that the ex and some of the ex's family wanted me to be mentally messed up. Because when you fuck with somebody's kids, that can mentally fuck with your head. It can. And I'm not saying that it didn't, but I also knew that I needed to keep myself together for my kids. That's how much I love my kids. If I don't keep myself together for my kids, then they really going my kids will really be to the winds, right? They really have all the fucking control, right? And then they would have won their battle over me. I would have given them that power. I don't like them motherfuckers like that. So why would I give them that power? Even if I do like you like that. Why would I give you, you know what I'm saying? That kind of power. It doesn't make sense. So stay strong, y'all. You know, the devil ain't never going to stop coming for you. New levels, new devils. The difference is you have enough experience going through everything to be able to discern what the fuck they coming at you with. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see it before it even gets to you. You'll be able to pinpoint who the devil is, what it looked like. You'll be able to see it long before they even realize that you know. And when they discover that you know, that shit gonna blow their mind. They gonna be like, oh shit. So we think we watching a motherfucker, but that motherfucker was watching us the whole time, being the devil. And who else did they tell to watch us? Since they already knew. Long periods of time can go by while you just watching the devil. You know? And it's the truth. I made a joke the other day. I said it's kind of like Santa Claus, even though I know Santa Claus ain't real. Sorry, kids. It's true. Kids shouldn't be watching this anyway. But, I said it's like Santa Claus. You're making your list, you're checking it twice. You want to find out who's naughty and who's nice. It's the same thing. You're watching to see who's being naughty and who's being nice. And the ones who's being naughty, you check. The ones who's nice, check. Because the ones that's nice, those are the ones that you say, you know what, I could bring them along. Or I could share with them. Or I wouldn't mind if they were there when I do. Or I could probably even utilize their services if. The ones that's naughty, those are the ones you like, if you doing this without you even realizing that I know what you doing, imagine what you would do now that you realize that I know what you're doing. Right? And then usually they get upset and stuff, want to kick themselves. Oh, why did I do that? But it's like they only do that because they feel like, damn, I should have treated that person better. But it's because if they get caught, when they get caught, they don't like getting caught. And they get caught, then the woulda, coulda, shouldas come in. But you shouldn't have did it anyway. But that's the lesson, right? That's the lesson. Just like with what I say about the ex. The way I was treated, and I had been nothing but good, kind, sweet, built up, protected. What? Put you on game with how to make more? Did damn near everything? And that's how you treat somebody that did all of that for you? That's how you treat somebody? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I know you are. ashamed of yourself. Even if you put on a mask for other people to see otherwise, when you alone, you are ashamed of yourself and you probably cry. And all the woulda, coulda, shouldas come in. Losing one of the best things that could have ever happened to your life is your lesson. And that's just period. Trying to hurt me through my kids, my biological kids, how dare you? How dare you? As much as I love my babies, as much as I love myself, how dare you? You should be a disappointment to yourself by your behavior alone. And all of the people that you got to gang up on me, like that current spouse, where I recently found text messages in my phone from years ago that I didn't even know were in my phone. I just came across it. And these were sent to me years ago. But I had blocked the first text message that was sent years ago because there was no reason for me to be talking to this person that has nothing to do with me or my kids. Absolutely nothing. So the audacity that you gave this person the power to be able to come at me like that over my kids? How dare you? Because you was too pussy to talk yourself? How dare you? It's a shame. And through those text messages, I'm also realizing that she was lied to. She was lied to. In some of them text messages, she's talking about, you still sitting outside our house, you down the street from my house. The hell? What? Who was outside of some? Who what? She sent them to the year she sent them text messages. I wasn't even in the same state. What the hell is she talking about? This the way you get out of being a parent. Da 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 da. You didn't come see your kid. What? So she was lied to. Apparently, about a lot of things. But she don't have the right to come at me like that, because I have never came at her like that. I have a right to come at her, but I would never even waste my breath or my time. Because again, that person has nothing to do with me or my kids. She can go worry about her wife and her kids and whatever else she got to worry about, but what? And that's why I felt it was necessary to start uploading more evidence to my page, because clearly some people were in the dark about a lot of things. I have more evidence. I have more. But I'm sure what I already uploaded has already made people look at you awfully funny. More to come though. All of this off of, you see how I veered, y'all? But I got my point through the majority of the time talking about Tupac and everything. It veered, but it all coincided. It all coincided. Anyway, those are my thoughts for this evening, y'all. I've been on here for damn near an hour. That's crazy. Even the screen froze at one point. It was almost like it froze to tell me, all right, it's time to go. I'll tell you when it's time to go. Anyway, comments, y'all. Thanks for listening.